Hey everybody, I know what you're thinking. I have a gun. They always say that with all the riot and stuff going on out there, better be safe than sorry. Go ahead. That gets you killed. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, the reason why I'm back in my army gear is because there's a certain movie that it should be a franchise, but sadly, it's not exactly a box office hit, but it was still a favorite to yours truly. And the question is to you, we love robots, right? And we love toy soldiers, right? What if somebody decided to combine two and two together? And I'm not talking about Transformers and G.I. Joe, something that involves toy soldiers that are robots who comes to life. So pretty much, this movie I'm going to review to you today is none other than Small Soldiers. This was my favorite movie of all time, and it was directed by the legendary director named Joe Dante. He's the same guy who directed the second Gremlins movie, and also his first horror movie ever made was The Howling. A lot of people know Joe Dante as a gypsy director. So, anyway, how the story goes is like this. There is this company who goes by the name of Global Tech, who decided to create advanced things involving military and household things. And trying to make everything safe for both America and for your own house. Which I wish that kind of company would help us. But anyway, and their CEO is Gil Mars, played by Denis Leary. And for those of you who are going to be asking me, he's an a-ho, yo, 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 yo. He's an ace, ho, yo, 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 yo. Driving handicapped places in handicapped places. I'm an a-ho, yo, 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 yo. I'm an a-ho, yo, 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 yo. Yeah, I remember that song from Denis Leary. That song is really, really catchy. Every time I always say, I have a feeling I'm Denis Leary, because I'm an a-hole. They were like, yep, you are. Anyway, he's a CEO, and he's going over to the Global Tech today, and two of his creators, Larry Benson and Erwin Wayfair, they're both ready to have a meeting with their boss. And all of a sudden, they see the executive assistant who goes by the name of Miss Teagle. And as they're about ready to show up on the board, it turns out that nobody's there until Gil Mars shows up. Now, a little known fact I always heard in the making of, Denis Leary didn't want to work with puppets. That was in his contract because he doesn't want to appear in any movies with puppets in it. Because he had a bad experience with the Muppets, actually. I wonder what kind of bad experience he had with the Muppets. Anyway, how the meeting go? How the meeting go? Erwin created something new. He wanted to create, peace-loving critters who calls himself Gorgonites. And also, it's led by their leader named Archer. Greetings, I am Archer, adversary of the Gorgonites. I have a feeling I'm having a technical difficulty here. But anyway, he's a peaceful tribe who calls himself the Gorgonites. And, of course, they're supposed to be critters from a peaceful island called Gorgon, And the idea that Erwin was creating is that they're from the land of Gorgon and now they're lost, so they wanted to learn more about our world in order to travel, so kids will learn and such. But sadly, Gil Mars didn't like toys that would be educational for kids. So, Larry Benson decided to create something. It's more military-like. And he created Major Chip Hazard, leader of the Commando Elite. Major Chip Hazard, reporting for duty, sir. Commandos, let's target those Gorgonites. Tin Hut! All Gorgonite scum must die! Why does this keep happening? Anyway, showed him a commercial of his Commando Elite toys, and one thing it got Gil Mars's attention is that he sees this commercial where Chip Hazard punches through the box and then salute and talk, and that's when Gil Mars decided to give him a good idea. What if we have toys that actually could walk? What if they could talk? And what if they actually kick ass? Because he's really sick and tired of false entertainment, like people who have 4x4 trucks and parking on top of Abraham Lincoln's head, or shampoo commercials to convince women they look like Claudia Schiffer after one cycle of rinse and repeat. I mean, I always hate infomercials. False advertisements. I mean, I remember when I was a little kid, I saw a commercial of Guess Who. I was really stoked into the whole Guess Who game, but it turns out that the game pieces do not actually talk. I was like, oh! And I wanted the ones that can talk. I mean, what if we have a Guess Who board game that can actually talk, saying, is it me? Is it you? Who knows? I'm still here. I'm out of here. Me too. I know I'm going off topic. Sorry, folks. But anyway, and he told them that they should use electronic technology, and they don't have to use batteries, and have them program to be exactly what they are, soldiers. The Commando Elite. Everything else is just a toy. And he even wants one of those soldiers who can hunt unlucky buzzards 7 miles away and stick a nuclear warhead right up his butt. Heck, if any unlucky buzzard come to my place, I would like my toys to stick a nuclear warhead right up his ass. But anyway, and also he decided that these guys are soldiers, and what do soldiers need? Enemies. So, he wants the Gorgonites to be their enemy. Now, Erwin was like, sir, wouldn't that be a bit violent? And Gil Mars said, exactly. But they don't call it violent. They call it action. Kids love action. Besides, what are you worrying about? It's only toys. And of course, Miss Kegel want them to have these soldiers be built in about 3 months. And also, they gave them secret passwords so they can get to any kind of technology to create anything to make these toys work without batteries and such. And they gave him secret passwords. Of course, Erwin blabbed out Gizmo. Hinted what Joe Dirt made. Anyway, so, Larry Benson, he forgot his password, so he put in Gizmo instead. And he was looking up for some electronic chips. Any kind of chips that'll be good enough for the toys. So they found something that's called the X1000. Little did not many people know that the X1000, they were designed for the Department of Defense. So he put military technology in toys. And one thing about them is they're not exactly artificial intelligence, they're just actual intelligence. And but the only weakness that those chips have is ESP, electromagnetic pulse. And they can only learn from their in the boundaries of their primary program, whatever program they put in these toys that would enhance from within. So, pretty much when they build the toys and put the X1000 in their chips, in their heads, turns out their program, they program the Commando Elite to hunt down and eliminate the Gorgonites at any means possible, even create war. While the Gorgonites, their program is to hide and lose. Great options, if you ask me. But anyway, now to a small town. There is this boy right here. We've seen this actor in so many movies, believe it or not. But I don't know whatever happened to him. Did his career continued on, or did he just quit acting altogether? But anyway, he was a former troublemaker who now runs a toy store that his dad owns. But the difference is that his dad, he doesn't sell war toys. Toys involves action as such. His toy store, it just goes by kid stuff. Like plushy dolls or jacks or bouncy balls. Nothing with soldiers or dinosaurs or anything like that. And of course, he had his policy, no war toys involved. But he meets his friend named Joe, who is actually a trucker. And he's part of Gobotech now. And he showed them the Gorgonites and the Commando Elite. So Alan decided a little idea. If he gives him a whole collection, of the Gorgonites and the Commando Elite, his store can make a little money for once. But sadly, little did he know that these guys, he got Archer and Major Chip Hazard meeting each other for the first time. And then the argument. I remember the argument between Chip Hazard and Archer. It was like this. The Commando Elite will rid the Earth of the Gorgonites. We Gorgonites are peaceful. We mean you no harm. Gorgonite, you are a hideous freak. You will be vaporized. And believe it or not, the actor who does the voice of Major Chip Hazard is, of course, Tommy Lee Jones. And the actor who does the voice of Archer is, of course, Frank Langella. For those of you who don't know him, he played Dracula back in the 70s. He did the stage play of Dracula, and then he appeared in the movie. Kind of like what Bela Lugosi did. Anyway, back to the story. Turns out that Archer hid inside Alan's backpack, while Chip Hazard finally awoken from his box, and then he yelled out, "Commandos, 10 hut! Commando Elite, fall in!" And all of his Commando Elite troops showed up. And of course, here's a sound off. Now, not many people know that the guys who did the voice of the Commando Elite are a group of veteran actors who were together from that one war movie they appeared in called The Dirty Dozen. You have Bush Mayhook here, who is voiced by George Kennedy. Oh no, that's Brick Bazooka. Sorry, not Bush Mayhook. Brick Bazooka. Here's Bush Mayhook, right here, who is voiced by James Brown. Nick Nitro, voiced Clint Walker. Voiced by Clint Walker. Kep Kelligan, voice by Ernest Borgnine. And Link Static, voice by Bruce Dern. Those are the Commando Elites. I know, some of you are wondering where I got these from. I got it from a computer game I got called Small Soldiers, where you can create your own soldier, either a Gorgonite or a Commando Elite toy. And after you're done designing them, you can print them out as training cards. So I have my own collection. Anyway, after Chip Hazard was making his speech, where he was just taking all the speeches from all the other war movies, one of the Gorgonites, Slamfist, who is voiced by Christopher Guest. Yeah, Christopher Guest, Michael McKean, and Larry Shearer from This Is Spinal Tap. They're all doing the voice of the Gorgonites. Anyway, they pretty much trampled Alan's toy store and destroyed one of the Gorgonites, which is Troglokon, who is voiced by Michael McGee. Oh yeah, and here is one character they did show in the beginning of the movie. He's not exactly a Gorgonite, he was just a toy in the beginning of the movie. It was the meeting scene, and it was this character, Flat Chew. He was just a toy. Irwin said that he is Flat Chew, he's part of the Belch Brigade. Squeeze his belly, and he'll belch and fart. That's silly. That's just really silly. But what the hell, let's just introduce the Gorgonites. You know Troglokon and Slamfist. Well, when Alan tossed the remains of Troglokon, the Gorgonites tried to fix him, so now he is Frankenstein with Alan's dad's radio. Some assembly required. Still voiced by Michael McKee. And of course, one character I don't have is Ocula, which you can see on the cover here. He's this eye critter. He doesn't talk. All you hear him is go like... And of course, here's this character, Punch It. And he is voiced by Larry Cheer. And of course, there's another character named Scratch It, which you can see on top of Punch It, right there. That's Scratch It. Right there. And of course, Insaniac, voiced by Michael McKee as well. So pretty much the three guys from This Is Spinal Tap did the voice of the Gorgonites in this movie. And one thing I always hoping that they should have done, they should have G.I. Joe get involved with the Gorgonites to help them, since they are real American heroes who protect those who are helpless. But that's just my fantasy. After all, they all got the design idea from Hasbro, the same company who does G.I. Joes and Clue and Transformers and all the other toys you remember as a kid. Oh yeah, and also Alan has seen a girl next door who turns out he's his crush, and her name is Christy, and she is played by the lovely Kirsten Dunst. I mean, You know, I don't blame him. I used to have a huge crush on her too, and I saw her in Jumanji. But now I start noticing that she stops acting all of a sudden. I mean, I know that her performance of Mary Jane kind of sucks, but I still like her no matter what. No matter how bad her character is. Anyway, oh yeah, and of course, this is one of Phil Hartman's movie before he died. Yeah, the legendary Phil Hartman starred in this, and he plays Christie's father, who is an obnoxious jerk who keeps on buying a lot of techno stuff. His father, he's more a peace lover, and he always has a lot of stress and a lot of anger. I remember him yelling at Phil Hartman saying, no, this tree is beautiful. That dish is just one more piece of techno crap to go erase a lot of your step piles of techno crap. And you're already pulling so much juice, you got us all living in a cancer gnome. Anyway, back to the thing. Chip Hazard finally discovered that they're so determined on getting the Gorgonite, so they interrogated Archer, wondering what they are. But Nick Nitro fell into the garbage disposal and got his legs cut. And he died. So they went to the hardware area to make some new weapons and new vehicles for themselves. And now they invaded Phil Hartman's house, drugged Phil Hartman and his wife, and kidnapped Kirsten Dunst, and wants Alan to surrender the Gorgonites so they can release her. But Alan sent a decoy and saved Christy. And also, they took all of her Gwendy dolls, which they are soup model dolls. They're just reference of Barbie, and turned them into female soldiers. They just sort of did the Bride of Frankenstein on them, since they were playing that song from Bride of Frankenstein. Who would have thought of that? And of course, Christina Ricci did the voice of the Gwendy dolls. Dang. Why do most movies always star actresses I had crushes on? Because I had crushes on Christina Ricci when I saw her on The Addams Family. Huh. But anyway, Alan started to made a complaint to the company, and Irwin heard it and figured out about the chips. So now they need to find Albert Abernathy. That's the character's name, the main character, Alan. And after all the commandos was destroyed during a chase with Kirsten Dunst and Alan, they all exploded, but Chip Hazard survived. But he saw a warehouse where they were storing all the Commando Elite action figures and the Gorgonites. And he was like, "We had won the battle. We will not lose the war." So he kidnapped Joe, the trucker, saying, "Greetings, you've been drafted. Move!" And released all the Commando Elite, and also started surrounding surrounded Alan's house. So now, Alan, his mom and dad, Christy, her mother and father, and their little brother, they're all being attacked by the Gorgonites. And of course, the two nerds, Larry and Irwin, are involved now. And they're just so determined on trying to find and destroy the Gorgonites. But they're going a little bit too far that Archer decided, "Gorgonites, we must help Alan." "But if we fight, we will lose." "Last time I fought, I woke up with AM/FM. I tell you, war is nuts. I don't know what I'm talking about." "We shouldn't fight. We should hide." "If we hide, we will still lose. No more hiding." So, now, that was pretty awesome. I mean, even though they're programmed to lose, but they do put up quite a fight. I mean, it was really cool. They had, punch it, slingshot himself, and knock out 2 commandos. And Slamfist grabs the bell and we're like, sanctuary, sanctuary, and of course, Punch It did the whole bull thing and just went after the Gorgonites and knocked them out, saying, strike! And of course, Insaniac grabbed his mace and was like, hey, me, my wife, yo, ball and chain. Oh, I'm not standing around. I'm not going to stand. Oh, look at that. There's stand a punch, eh? Then sit down. Thank you, and good night, ladies and gents. Woo-hoo-hoo! And of course, Troglocon, he got onto one of their machines and was like, oh, how do you work this thing? Oh, long way. Oh, that's better. And what they're trying to do is trying to create electromagnetic pulse. Alan decided to get a wrench and try to connect it with the 2 transformers on one of the towers. And what they did is they need something to complete this. I mean, trying to complete 2 circuits together so they can get a nice power boost so they can overload and blow up, and that's what creates the electromagnetic pulse. It would fry any batteries or any of their chips. Anyway, it turns out that the Gorgonites are winning, but Chip Hazard shows up and about ready to kill Alan. So, Archer showed up. And of course, after he shot a nail with a string on it, Insaniac twirled himself around like a Tasmanian devil, going like, let's give it a round and around and around and around. Applause for Archer. Emissary to the Gorgonites. You're up. And then here's the fight between Archer and Chip Hazard.
Major Chip Hazard. Gorgonite scum! Leave Alan alone. Your fight is with me.
You got a lot of guts. Let's just see what they look like.
Pow! Their wiles and metal, the same as yours.
We're nothing alike. You are programmed to lose.
I am also programmed to learn.
Too bad you never learned to win. School's out, loser. Yeah! Oh! And Adam got really mad at what he did to Archer, so he climbed up. And as Chip yelled out, victory is ours! And Adam grabbed Chip and says, have I got a shock for you, you stupid toy? And he connected him between two transformers. And then Alan quickly jumped off before he gets electrocuted. And also, Chip Hazard getting all... And after Alan landed on the ground, a whole group of commando elites were surrounding him, and they were about ready to kill him. But Christy showed up in her lawnmower, and she said, is this going to be a pattern to our relationship? Relationship? While Irwin and Larry, they decided to work on the power box, and Larry says, "It's not going to be dangerous, is it?" And Irwin said, "Well, it depends on." And then here comes a big explosion, and here comes a wave of the electromagnetic pulse going out, and all the commando elites were destroyed. And Chip Hazard says,
"There will be no man."
So now they're picking up all the remains of those commando elites. And of course, Alan discovered that the Gorgonites were alive. Turns out they shielded themselves from a satellite. Pretty smart of them. And of course, Gil Mars showed up. Dennis Leary, of course. He said, I know some rebel in South America who find these toys very entertaining. Too bad. Gonna make one head of a commercial. And of course, the Gorgonites sailed on their ship out in the lake, finding their island Gorgon. And that is Small Soldiers for you. And I don't know about you folks, but I still love it. The way it's created, the way it's designed. I just wish I can collect all the action figures of all the Small Soldiers. So for those of you who like my review of Small Soldiers, please leave a comment down below, hit like and subscribe. And as for me, there's a certain character I need to phone home. So, see you later.
There will be no mercy.